What if simply growing food for the world meant slowly watching your entire town die? Nestled deep in Nicaragua's sugarcane fields lies the community of Chichigalpa, once a thriving agricultural town. Today, it carries a haunting nickname, La Isla de las Viudas, the Island of Widows. The reason? An epidemic of mysterious deaths, nearly all adult men, linked not to violence or war, but to the very soil they worked. Over the past few decades, thousands of men in Chichigalpa have died from chronic kidney disease, CKDU, a condition that destroys the kidneys slowly and painfully. But this isn't your average kidney failure. Unlike typical CKD, which is usually linked to diabetes or high blood pressure, these men were young, healthy, and without any traditional risk factors. What they did have in common, they worked the sugarcane fields. In the sweltering heat, laborers toiled for 12 to 14 hours a day, cutting and hauling cane with minimal rest or water. Many reported drinking almost no fluids during their shift. Out of fear they'd be fired for taking too many breaks. There was no protective gear, no health monitoring, just sweat, dehydration, and silence. By the early 2000s, researchers began sounding alarms. The death rates in Chichigalpa were astronomical. In some areas, over 70% of men were dead by age 50. Entire households were left without fathers, sons, or brothers. Wives, some in their 20s, were widowed with multiple children. Despite mounting evidence and increasing international concern, companies operating the fields were slow to act. Workers were easily replaced. Locals had no other options, and so the deaths continued. Investigations into the cause of CKDU pointed to a deadly combination of extreme heat stress, repeated dehydration, and exposure to agrochemicals, all amplified by a lack of regulation and enforcement. Victims often suffered in silence, their conditions undiagnosed or dismissed. Some men, desperate to keep feeding their families, worked until they collapsed, then quietly died at home. This is not fiction. This is real. A town turned into a graveyard, not by war or disaster, but by the invisible machinery of profit. The fields of Chichigalpa grow more than sugar. They grow silent suffering, invisible graves, and a question that still lingers. How many must die before the world truly cares about the hands that feed it? Follow for more.